What's up, Dunwoody? Welcome back to the podcast. It's all about Dunwoody, Georgia. My name is Matt Weber. The show is brought to you by Dr. Brett Friedman with Village Orthodontics and Discover Dunwoody. Today, we've got a friend on named Catherine Lautenbacher, and she has been with the city now for like 4 years. And I see you places, and we've said like a few words to each other, but we've never actually had a full conversation like this. So this will be fun. What district are you right now?
I am District 1.
District 1 right now, City Council. And let's just go right into it. Are you going to run for re-election soon?
Yes, I am.
Yes? Okay. Did I spill the beans here?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes.
Big reveal.
Big reveal. Awesome. So, okay, well, I don't know where you want to start. I know we want to talk about the police department. I know you're part of Leadership Perimeter.
I guess you brought up District 1. Let's talk about District 1.
Let's go.
Imagine Dunwoody as a square, and it's cut north to south in 3 sections. Yep. I am the westernmost section. I run from Dunwoody Club down to the mall, and then you can move over, and you got Dunwoody Club Village or Dunwoody Club Forest. That's it, and then you go down to Georgetown. So that's 2, and that's Rob Price, and he's running again. And then everything out there, out in the east, that is Tom Lambert, and that is District.
We're stuck with Tom.
Love Tom. I super love Tom. Yeah.
I'm in Dunwoody North, which is in the far southeast part of Dunwoody, which makes no sense.
Well, I don't know what to tell you.
I didn't name it. It was named years ago.
Yeah, they're all called Dunwoody something. So the election will be in November, and you will get to vote for people who live in your district. So only people in District 1 are voting for me, and only District 2 are voting for Rob's opponent.
Okay. And then at large, so Stacy, Joe, and John, everybody can vote for them, right? And the mayor.
Yes. Okay. So they run on a different term. So they run
2 years.
2 years, yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm. It's an interesting system. The neighboring city, maybe they're all running this time.
Oh, really? So there's just like full turnover in other cities?
Yes. Well,
this is the only city that I've actually watched this happen in. So,
well, I know I feel the same way. I've lived here 25 years, and this is the only city I've really participated in. So,
yeah,
maybe.
Right, so, are you new to this? Are you new to the politics?
Oh yeah.
How have you enjoyed it the last 4 years?
Yes, I really have. I enjoy following the lead of the mayor. I think Mayor Deutsch has done an excellent job. I think she has set the right tone for us. And she's got a lot of projects that I buy into. So I appreciate working for her.
It seems like you guys get along pretty well, and don't always agree, but you can at least figure it out amongst yourselves instead of blasting each other on social media and all the different things that you see in politics.
Yes, that's right. It's apolitical in that we don't have a Republican or Democratic side. That isn't the way it works. And we all appreciate that this is a city we love, and we want to make it better, and maybe we want to make it better in different ways, but we can talk about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I was telling you before the show started, I kind of delved into I don't want anything to do with politics, but with this bond vote that came up, a while back, I actually did say my opinions out loud. And, of course, got blasted for that. And so I guess I liked being liked more than most politicians. It would be very difficult for me to do what you guys do. So I appreciate that somebody can do it.
You got to separate. So if I'm representing the city and you're yelling at me because you don't like the restaurants here, or you don't like the way the road was paved, or whatever, I can just accept it. I feel that I am a receptor of your criticisms or your happiness, or you like it, you don't like it, everything. I accept that on behalf of the city. So I don't.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, that's a good way to handle it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not a personal attack. I understand.
Oh, that's right. Because they don't know me. These people don't know me.
No, I mean, if I barely know you, then I can guarantee that most people don't.
That's right. That's right.
Well, so what are your favorite things that have happened the last 4 years?
Well, I am glad that we passed the trail plan. And what that really means is enhanced sidewalks. We talked about where we want them all over the city such that we can get from one place to the other by walking or even biking on the sidewalk. And it's a good plan. The bond did not pass, but that only means that we are going to do it more slowly than we were before. But we're still going to do it.
Yeah, it's definitely slowed things down.
Yeah. It's a bummer. It's a bummer because I live by Wildcat Park and there is nothing there. There's a porta potty, I think is what's there. And then maybe for a few years more. We have a plan. We know what's going to go there. Pickleball or tennis or playground or what have you. But not yet.
Do you think that saying that the 12-foot, do you think the 12-foot number made a big difference?
The 12-foot number is a problem for sure. It's not what I would want. I don't want a 12-foot sidewalk. We've got that in Brook Run. That's great. Through the woods. We got bikers. We got runners all the time.
Yeah.
We're not going to have that on every sidewalk.
Well, there's definitely not space for it on every sidewalk, but I feel like that's what people got stuck on. And that's what I had a hard time with, when my friends were like, I don't want 12-foot sidewalks. I'm like, it's not really how it's going to work. And, I think that just got thrown out and that was stuck there. And there's a lot of misinformation as well.
That's true. That's
that
true.
Didn't help. That didn't help either.
I advocate, the mayor does, John Hennigan does. We all advocate for smaller sidewalks. The city staff, they present 12-foot sidewalks. And we say, well, what about 10? What about 8? Yeah. So it's not what I'm advocating for.
Right. What, how come you guys didn't have a whole lot to do with it? Why is it that everybody outside, like the city council couldn't be the ones pushing for it? I remember that was kind of an issue, and you guys all got blamed for it not passing or, being out there. How come everything just had to skirt around y'all? Why is that?
Because as an official, we are not meant to advocate for a bond or anything like that. Right.
Okay. Because it's extra money. I guess that makes sense.
Well, we're paid. We're on the city side and the city is offering this option. You can have a bond. You cannot have a bond. We would have to advocate personally. And I found it very hard to navigate how to. It
was difficult. And I had Tom and John come to like the neighborhood pool, or I helped organize them coming to our Dunwoody North neighborhood pool and kind of talking and just going back and forth. Cause John wasn't, I guess he was the one that was least for what was going on. And it was a good conversation between the two of them. And it was open conversation, but it was tough that the city council couldn't get involved in the bond vote at all. And I think that you guys got blamed for it and had really nothing to do with it. So it was interesting to watch.
In the end, we did. We didn't advocate to the level that we needed. We didn't have a citizen advocacy group that we needed. We just, I don't know. I didn't know how to do it. So
it was delicate for sure.
I would know that next time.
Well, so what are your other favorite things from the last 4 years? What about the police department? I know you're into that.
Police department it's all good news. We have a new chief who has been there since day one, so he knows everything. We have, since COVID, had to pay everybody more, way more. And then at the same time, we've wanted more police officers. The police chief describes it as our force is reactive versus proactive. So we have enough people to be reactive. Something happens, boom, we're on the spot. But we don't get in front of the things that would happen and stop them before they happen. So we're going to have more police officers. And I'm pro-police. I think it's great. I want a safe city. We also got drones, which are really cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about the drones. Is that something that's used a lot?
Yes. The drones can fly all over the city, pretty much. And we just had an incident at Ashford Lane, and somebody was there. I don't know, he'd driven there, and he was acting a little weird. Well, the drone could be on site, had a camera on him, and the cops could be nearby and ready to get him, but they can see when he's alone, if he doesn't have a gun out or anything. They could watch it through the drones and then take the guy down. So it was
interesting. Do the drones lift off from City Hall, or how's that work?
Sure do. Yeah.
Okay. And so can they get there faster than the police cars a lot of the time?
Oh yeah. Yes. Police cars are out and maybe they can get there, but certainly in traffic.
Yeah. Interesting. I did not know about that. I've seen that, like, at Lemonade Days, the big poles with the cameras on them. Those are pretty cool, but drones is next level.
Yeah, it is. It is. And now we have a response center. So there's a room that is all screens on one wall, and we've got all the information up there. So if an incident happens, if a storm happens, somebody is sitting in there and coordinating all the events because they can see all the things at once.
Okay. The drone pilots, is that something that you guys train, or are they brought in specially? How does that work?
I think they train a police officer to do it.
Okay. Not that difficult to fly, so.
I don't know.
That's cool, though. I did not know about the drones. We were there yesterday talking about the parade, and they are a huge help for the parade, with us every year.
That's
So,
good.
well, okay. What about leadership perimeter? I'm trying to touch on all the things that I know you do, but you can go wherever you want.
All right. Well, Leadership Perimeter is a community leadership training program. I've had this job for 12 and a half years. We used to be Leadership Sandy Springs, but now we've opened it up to Dunwoody and Brookhaven. So perimeter leadership, it's like perimeter CIDs. It's the same footprint. And we're training these people to be more involved in the community. So maybe I'll get 20-year-olds who don't know anything, or 40-year-olds who only work, or 60-year-olds who've retired and they're looking for something to do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to talk to them about city government, state government, education, economic development, environment, human services, all kinds of things. So what they're going to hear is, here are the opportunities, here are the problems, here are the decision makers, and we're going to give them a mentor as well. So somebody is going to stand by their side and check on them and see what it is they found that they are interested in. So maybe they're interested in the environment, and maybe they're interested in being on a board. So we're going to give a board training for sure. And maybe they get an introduction to an environmental agency as well. And we hope that they'll go out and do great things. People are going to do everything from reading to children to running for office. We have a number of leadership people who've run for office. I, in fact, ran for office only because I went through leadership. And
I was going to say that was, you think that's the reason? Yeah.
I do think that's the reason. I understood the job. I didn't know right when I started again, what's a city? So we all became cities. I got to know council people, and then I really got a good idea of what it is that they do. And I really thought, one day maybe that'll be me. And then that day came.
And I love that you've got I forgot when I talked to Rosalind, she broke it all down. I probably should have listened to that show before we started here, but you bring in kids at some point, right? And like teenagers, there's like a group of younger kids.
I'm running the adult class, and then Lori Peljevich is running the youth class. So she's got sophomores and juniors, maybe some seniors, and they're doing the similar thing. They're going to learn about the city. They're going to learn about human services. They're going to learn about the environment. Similar thing.
And most important, they're going to learn if they enjoy doing it, because if they don't enjoy being in leadership, that might be another problem.
Well, hopefully it will introduce them to careers.
Right.
So one of the things that in leadership, if you go through the class, you have to do a project, and you get to pick your project. I assign your group, but you're going to decide what you do. One of the groups decided to go to a number of high schools to teach adulting. So they were teaching them about finance, or about interviewing, or about resumes, things like that. So it was really good for the students, of course, but it was really good for my students, because they got to see how much impact they could have, how much these kids didn't know, how much my students knew about what their students needed to know. Yeah. So it was encouraging. And I think the projects do that as well. They just open it up. Like, you get to see yourself in action.
Yeah. And there's no better way to learn things than to actually try to teach them. It makes it, you learn that much faster. Right. And especially like the finance department there at the high school and stuff, they already kind of have some of that in place. And so I like how you phrased it, though, adulting.
That's what they adult. Yeah, it was an adulting class.
An adulting class. That was something that I don't think in high school we ever learned. I remember we did a little bit of like balancing checkbooks, but that's something I've never used in life, really.
It would have been nice. It would have been nice. I think all those things, you don't understand a mortgage. You don't understand your credit card fees. You just think, I don't know. You don't even think about it. You just go through and somebody's like, here's a mortgage. Here's a credit card fee.
Yeah, it's like the reactive versus proactive that you were talking about with the police.
Exactly.
It was kind of, oh, I have to learn how to pay a mortgage. What is a mortgage? And so it's a good thing. It's a good thing for them to get out there and teach that adulting for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, they did a lot of interesting projects. They celebrated some centenarians. So anybody who was 100, they came to a celebration. Cool. There was a group that did a bulky recycling. So if you've got, I don't know, a sofa or a washer or whatever that isn't going in your bin at the street, you could take it and do it that way.
With the parade coming up in a couple weeks, I feel like this is a good time to plug our sponsors, right? So the Dunwoody 4th of July Parade is presented by the Dunwoody Homeowners Association and Rough Draft Atlanta. We've got a big platinum sponsor this year. It's a Big Play Entertainment. They're a new company. They just came into town. They took over the old Lidl. So make sure you show them some love at the very beginning of the parade. It's located right there next to All Saints. Our gold sponsors are EEP Events, the City of Dunwoody, Discover Dunwoody, Dino Woody, Lisa Torres, Northside Hospital, and then our silver level sponsors are Atlanta Academy, Dunwoody Animal Medical Center, Rotary Club of Dunwoody, Crema, Thomas Eye Group, Southern Live Oak Wellness, the Little Gym, Tilly Mill Goodyear, and South State Bank. Our bronze level sponsors are the Atlanta Falcons, Dunwoody Pharmacy, the Robin Blast Group, What's Up Dunwoody, Dunwoody Senior Baseball, the Mount Vernon School, Custom Signs Today, Joey D's, Dunwoody Community Church, Blue Summit Hospice, Dunwoody Tavern, the Oddities Museum, Carrie Arias, the DeKalb Democrats, and Tim Eccles. Obviously, we couldn't put on the parade without the sponsors. This is how the parade happens. So make sure you show them all some love. People want to get involved in Leadership Perimeter. How do they do that? What's the best way?
We are taking applications. We're finishing up the 2026 class. We're going to start in September and roll through May. So it's the school year calendar. Okay. You can look on our website and you can see what is required, what is a good candidate for the job, and you can apply.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is, the people that you're working with, like Rosalind, Mark, and, a lot of the people that I see at Leadership Perimeter are, a lot of people that you should really get to know. And you hear from, all the people from the city and economic development and all that kind of stuff. You do learn a lot about the city for sure. Something I should probably show up to every once in a while. And,
well, in this next class, we're going to have Dunwoody's police chief, and we're going to have Fernanda Kirchner, the new economic development specialist, in there. Okay. So that'll be fun because now not only are you in the class, but you get to know the police chief.
Okay. Yeah. He's a super nice guy too. Yeah. I think he's kind of took over for Grogan pretty well. It was somebody that had already been there for a long time and he's kind of stepped into those shoes.
Seamless.
Yeah. Yes. Well, let's talk about a little bit more about the city. How do you deal with constituents? Like when people are calling you complaining and, how do you have a lot of interaction with the people in District 1?
I do. So we'll get like
probably more than you want a lot of the time.
No, never. I think my first call was about the restaurant scene and the constituent didn't like it. And we talked for half an hour.
The top of the list right there. That's the most important stuff.
Yeah. When, of course, I am not in charge of the restaurant scene. So
really? Yeah.
And now I think it's great. If you're not eating in Dunwoody, where are you eating?
Things have completely turned around. I started that restaurant review group. I think it was like 2018. And I remember at the beginning, people were just, we need these, chef-driven restaurants and this and that. Like, we don't have anything. And somebody threw out food stalls. The idea of, pretty much what Politan Row did. And there was going to be one, I want to say it was like in the middle of the city, right off North Shallowford. And, it never materialized. But since then, I feel like we have an abundance of restaurants, maybe too many restaurants in the city.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm not sure who's in charge of it. I guess the city, you know, obviously not the city, but it's restaurateurs coming to the area and, you know, seeing what works.
Right. It is what the citizens can demand. If we
Yeah.
go to a restaurant that we like, that says good things. And if we don't go to the one that we don't like, that says bad things.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So beyond the restaurant call, I do get calls that are like pedexing, pedestrian crossing at Redfield. I got an email about, could we have the button push light to cross the street? And I said, okay, sure. You know, and I told that to the public works director, and we had it in a few months. Just
really,
yeah. I get a call about the pedestrian walkway paint for Austin Elementary. I mean, that's a pain, and they are talking to me because they can't get it done through the school. So I get to call our county commissioner and our school board member, really, and get her to go find somebody to paint it. And it got painted pretty quickly. It's things like that. So there will be things that I cannot do. People in the branches, they'll be in Dunwoody, in their house in Dunwoody, but their backyard will be in Sandy Springs, and they've got a problem with that flow. And there's only so much I can do. You know, I've gone out and I've looked, whatever it is. So sometimes they need to be heard. Sometimes they need help. Like also Shanley Dunwoody up by Redfield, water break all the time. I was thinking that Dunwoody doesn't have that, but that's where they have it, and it keeps happening. Why is that? So I get to be able to loop in Commissioner Robert Patrick. He is our DeKalb County Commissioner. He lives a couple of streets over. He lives in District 2. Yeah. And get him involved because it's DeKalb water. And again, there's only so much.
And it's old DeKalb water for the Homeowners Association. We had somebody come in and talk about those pipes, and it's a mess. Like DeKalb fell way behind on that. Yeah. So there's going to be even more water breaks soon, I'm sure.
Well, I hope not, because now that we pay more, we pay 10% more a year. The idea is that we can put that money in the infrastructure, which we should.
Yeah, hopefully it goes to the right place. Yeah. Have you got a lot of sign calls recently, even though you probably had very little to do with the Dunwoody signs and all of the money that we've wasted?
There were comments. I love them. I worked on it. I worked my way into this job, and one of the jobs that I had prior to this is in Discover Dunwoody. And we had a big meeting in 2019 about the signs, what they were going to look like, or, you know, and give our opinion and all that. That was 6 years ago. Yeah. So government moves slowly.
And then there was public opinion that came, and nobody probably participated. But now that they're here, it's a big deal.
Well, I think it's a big deal in a good way. I think, I really think the big giant sign at Shanley Dunwoody looks good. It looks good. And
they finally lit up the one on North Peachtree, and it looks really nice. Like when you pull in, I mean, it's all lit up, and it's obvious that you're pulling into Dunwoody for sure.
Well, let's know that, because Perimeter Mall, they don't know where they are. They don't know that they're in Dunwoody. And Perimeter Mall is the most visited mall in the state. It's giant, like the millions and millions of people. So
and I think that's so funny that, you know, I'm from Gwinnett, and I'm still in Gwinnett a lot. I still have a lot of friends there, and they come out here all the time and go to Perimeter Mall, and they have no idea that it's Dunwoody. And they like, where do you live? I'm like, well, the restaurants that you're always going to, you know, like it's not. It just doesn't make sense that there's not signs there. So I'm excited. I think that's going to be a really cool one too. Right when you get off the highway there.
Yeah. Stacey Harris and I used to meet with the head of the mall regularly, you know, quarterly or something like that, just to check in about the mall. The mall also moves slowly. It's incredible. Mm-hmm. We wanted to put a big Dunwoody sign in the mall parking lot, and that was a disaster.
Yeah.
So that doesn't have a home yet, our nice Dunwoody sign.
I think it's amazing that we still have a mall. I mean, how many cities that you know have malls? Like, I had some friends come from out of town. We did this like real estate convention, and I was like, "You're gonna be staying next to the mall," and they're like, "Oh, we don't even have malls where we're from anymore. Everything's online." But Perimeter's done a good job with it, and I think the restaurants and, you know, building out the parking lot has definitely helped a lot.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you what we need for economic development. We you and I pay taxes. We pay taxes for a very little amount for our city services. The other taxes that come in are from the office market, which is down 26% empty. I get it. That's a problem.
Yeah.
Where are offices moving? Where are we getting TriNet? Where are we getting Market Wake? These are new to Dunwoody. They are in cities that they can walk to the metro, the MARTA. They can walk to restaurants. They can walk to shops. They can walk. So we have in our downtown Dunwoody, we have the infrastructure to get the new offices. As people come back to the office, as people move to whatever's better, this is it. We are doing it. That means all these trails that we've got to build, all these parks that we have to build out, they all have to entice business owners to come back.
Yeah.
So we've got,
I think. And most of the people, at least in whatever, District 2, District 3, like we kind of forget about Perimeter Mall. It's not really part of Dunwoody to me. Dunwoody is these big neighborhoods and, summertime swim teams and that kind of stuff. But the people and businesses in that perimeter area are paying a lot of the bills. And like you said, if it's down 20%, I'm sure a lot of that has to do with, with COVID and people not having to go to an office and that kind of thing. But it seems like Campus 244 is doing real well. I know the State Farm buildings are probably having a hard time right now because they invested so much money in those things. But we're getting our businesses, and I've seen a couple new ones show up recently.
That's right. High Street was a really good project, and I have to say that this city did not ever
think it was going to happen.
Well, we didn't sanction it, right? It wasn't this was a DeKalb project. So that means right in 2008, somebody bought that land and said, I want to build all these apartments and mixed use and have this great thing. And if this at the start of the city, everybody would have said, no, they're going to go to the schools. They're going to overcrowd. It's going to be terrible. But we didn't have anything to say because it was already zoned for them and they built it. Now what they
20 years later.
Right. It did take 20 years. It did. So they've got all this, all the apartments, and they are filling up all the restaurants. I love Velvet Taco. Yum.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. And then they got offices right there. So there's a microcosm of what you think of with the new office space. So that's where TriNet is going. They're going to go live there. And it's lucky them. And they can walk over to the mall.
They can walk. It's so close. And Ashford Lane and, all of those areas. It's just very, very walkable.
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm Woody, your friendly Dunwoody AI Golden Doodle. Discover Dunwoody is all about community engagement. They work closely with local residents and businesses to foster a sense of pride and ownership in our city. This collaboration not only enhances the visitor experience, but also ensures that our local economy thrives. By involving everyone in their promotional efforts, Discover Dunwoody creates a welcoming atmosphere for visitors. If you're passionate about our community, be sure to follow @Discover Dunwoody on social media for updates on local initiatives. If you know anyone planning a trip to Dunwoody, direct them to whatsupdunwoody.com/hotels to find great hotel options. When they book through that link, they're directly supporting this show. Don't forget to check out whatsupdunwoody.com/events to find out what's going on around town. Let's come together to celebrate and support our vibrant community.
Have something I saw yesterday was that Brookhaven lowered a bunch of their speed limits. Have you guys talked about that at all?
We sure have.
For safety and stuff?
I don't know how they do it. It's not easy to do. You have to apply to the Department of Transportation. So there are roads that we have applied for. And maybe that it's their turn in the cycle and they every couple of years you got to put forth your speed plan, but we will.
What's the purpose of lowering the speeds? I'm sure safety has something to do with it, but why would they choose to do that?
They could have accidents. They could have pedestrian collisions, bike collisions. It could be a number of reasons. I think it's a
that's
good
why
idea.
You guys have talked about it.
Oh, for sure. So on Peeler's an example. The neighbors complain that the cars are going so fast. Well, they are because it's 2 lanes of no stop light, no stop sign, just fly as fast as you can. It's a problem. It's a problem for if you want to walk across the street. You
Well, there
can't.
was like traffic calming measures over by the village and that kind of thing too that would, have been discussed for years and years. And it would, I think that it would kind of stop people from driving through the city as much too, because Chamblee Dunwoody is kind of a cut through for a lot of people that don't live in the city. And so it would, having that slowed down, like when they're doing construction in an area, I just don't go that direction. And if they were, if traffic was slowed down right there in the village, maybe people wouldn't drive through the village as much.
Well, let's talk about Nandina. Nandina it's just a little cut through road. You're on Chamblee Dunwoody getting onto Mount Vernon. I'm going south. I'm heading west. Because it's at an angle, it's easy to not even stop. You just keep going.
Right.
What we're changing is we're going to make that a 90-degree turn. So
okay.
That's going to take speed out of your turn into Mount Vernon. Yeah. That's an area of accidents. That's a problem for the pedestrians because if they're walking, you're not even looking at them. You're driving up.
You're looking back.
You're looking left. They're coming from your right.
Right. From church. All the churches that are right there.
Right. Yeah. They're walking to the Dunkin' Donuts and they're going to get hit. So that kind of thing, that's a slowdown measure. So is it sad that we're going to be slower? No, I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Well, you'll get a few calls about it, I'm sure, but I think it's a good thing as well.
We will.
Okay. Well, we're running kind of long now. Let's wrap it up, and then maybe we can talk closer to the election. And congratulations on you're the only one running right now, right?
Yay!
Because I hadn't heard anybody was.
No, not yet. We qualify in August. The 3 days in August, wherein you have to walk into the city hall and pay the $300-something to the city clerk to be able to run. And that's when you know who's going to run.
Okay. And that's when everybody kind of piles on at the last minute. Is that how it normally works?
Somebody might have piled on last time I ran. But
yeah.
I hope not.
Well, cool. Well, it was nice talking to you. And thanks for coming on.
Oh, thank you. It's a great service that you do for the community to tell us what's up. And
appreciate it.
Happy to hear it.
Yeah. Thank you for what you do.